So why do we need to give it to them? Why is there the instruction of giving it to them in the morning? The yang. It's warm. You're totally whacking their system. And so you'd want the warmth of the day. And as I was sitting this morning, very early at 3 this morning, it's 70, 80 degrees in the day. But at 3 o'clock this morning, I was sitting reviewing this material with a blanket around me like a poncho. And if I was to have taken something like this at night and it cleared out and the illness there and it was cold and my bed was cold and the room was chill, bad. And so we're taking advantage of, you're going to be wiped out, but it's going to be warm as possible. We're doing the best we can. And if you didn't get better, if you only had a little bit of diarrhea, I don't say, I wait 3 hours and give you more. I don't take it until I go. I don't even mess with it. I let your system sit. I let you stay sick. And I don't risk doing it again until the following morning when you have all of the yang of the day to help you recover once you have it. I mean, that's an incredible understanding of factoring in the cycle of the day and what's happening. One of the things that Julianne and I often mention is how cold Western medicine is. Not just the medicines, but you go into a room of surgery and it's freezing in there. And what's happening temperature-wise that they're not even paying attention to, that they're not even thinking about, well, I'm doing this invasive procedure at what time of the day? Well, I can schedule in at this time or this time, as opposed to thinking how many people, if they start looking at statistics, if they got this in the morning, they did well. If they got this in the afternoon, they did well. And why is that going on? And is there even a factor, or is it not important because they're being whacked by the cold of the surgery room, which keeps down the germs, has their logic to it. But that ability to start seeing, how do I add? We're adding a flavor. We're adding the flavor of daytime to our formula to make it successive. And we are removing the cold negative of nighttime to this formula. I mean, what are you going to say? And how they figured that out, you have to hope that someone was really smart and was like, don't do this, it's cold. And you might think, well, how many people had to die before they realized this? And it's like, okay, I will tell you, it wasn't long before, when we lived without heat for 4 years, it wasn't long before we realized how to structure everything you do based around the day. And so you do not shower at the end of the day. Why would you shower at the end of the day in a house with no heat and your hair's wet? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to get sick. So you're showering as planned. Do you shower in the morning? Still too cold, right? You got to time it like that 11, 1 o'clock, and then you get the shower, and then you get as dry as possible, and then you hope your yang is still recovering from your shower because it was like, and not warming you, and the floor is freezing cold. Any case, you start very quickly, you start realizing what a factor is and what you don't want to have happen. But that ability to, prescribe day, factor in day, delirium during the day, you're in the yang organs. Delirium at night, it's not in the yang organs. Just all of these factors of what's going on, and those influences are tremendous that we often overlook today. And sadly, if you ask me, one of the issues of why it's overlooked is it's overlooked. And one of the issues is we live in these contrived environments where it's either air conditioned in the summer or heated in the winter, and your day doesn't change. So what you do in the winter, you go to work, you drive your car, you go there. What you do in the summer, it's all the same, that these influences become less tangible in our treatment and yet insidious enough that, how many of these seasonal allergies, all of these things are going on are due to the fact that we're ignoring the seasons long enough that our system just gets confused. Too much heat inside, too much cold inside, not being relieved, but I'm getting distracted. The Shanghan does not mention that allergies are a result of living out of harmony with the seasons.